Look at where we are today, guys. This is the Baylands Nature Preserve trail area of the western shores of the San Francisco Bay. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. I've just paused here on the drive in at the duck pond to do just a brief intro. We're gonna go out along these trails, out along here behind the San Mateo Municipal Airport. We're gonna probably, hopefully, catch some airplanes landing and taking off. There's a new walkway that takes you out on the water's edge in the marshlands, and I'm gonna take you guys up there. And I did this cross-country bike ride, I don't know, about a year ago, and I've been since wanting to do a hike of this area as well. I've tried it before, but it's usually so crazy windy out here that it blows out the microphone audio. So hopefully today the air will remain still enough as we get out towards the water's edge, and we won't have that problem today, hopefully. Let's get on out there and kick up some sweat, kick up some dirt and dust, and have a blast out on the trails. This is where, how do I word this? The sailboaters, I think, you know, those dudes with the surfboards and the big sails on them, out on the water. This is where they go to rinse off gear and to launch right off this pier thing here. Oh my gosh, I can hear gunfire. I can hear shotgun blasts from the hunting area. Clear out that way. So the water tide levels are really low today, and that in itself opens up a really different landscape. So those of you who saw my video last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago, where I took you along the other shoreline area behind Moffett Airfield, these are the same power lines that we observed going across that way. And there's nobody out here today for whatever reason. Sunday afternoons or Sunday mornings are usually pretty quiet on the Bay Area trails. For whatever reason, I guess people are in church, people are having Sunday brunch, and just generally relaxing on a Sunday morning. So let's kind of orient where we're at. So looking straight across that way is Mission Peak. Mount Diablo is that way. Okay, so Dumbarton Bridge and Route 84 is that way. South San Francisco is that way. Okay. And can we see Mount Umunum from here? We can't quite see Mount Umunum. Mount Umunum is right there. I don't think you can see it, but Mount Umunum is straight across that way. So you guys have seen that hike. I've taken you up to the peak of Mount Umunum before. And you can see how low the water, look at how low the tide is. So the tide line typically is up to about here-ish. So there's still more trail to see, so stay tuned with me, guys. We're gonna head on up here and continue. But I'm gonna take you guys out on that catwalk out there. So that's relatively new. They just rebuilt that maybe a year ago, and they had a big grand opening with the mayor of Palo Alto and that kind of thing. So we're gonna go check that out. I've tried to do this before, and it's always been so windy out here, so hopefully today the air is still enough. And we're gonna do that first, and then we're gonna go hike along the back side of the municipal airport and watch the planes take off and land. So that channel is usually full of water, but again, the low tide has really drained it out today. Alrighty, and off we go. And someone tell me what this is for. I don't know what these are for. Maybe birds? Keep birds from landing on here? But these roller rails are all up along this handrail. And this thing was really run down prior to about a year ago. And it was totally dilapidated and sunken down into the marshy swamp. And so they had to rebuild the entire structure out here in order to create what you're seeing here. We get like a cool view, line of sight, up and down these power lines. So one reason clearly for this catwalk is to provide PG&E access to these power lines and the towers when they need to be repaired. So that's a pretty cool shot right there. In fact, you can see where workers have traipsed on the pickleweed, and you can see footprints and tracks down there where it looks like they've actually had to go out. That's a pretty scary walk. That'd be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, so last week I took you guys out along that way towards that construction site. I still don't know what that building is. So maybe tonight I'll Google search that and annotate some commentary below. And more planes are taking off. We're gonna head on back that way eventually, but for now, again, more footprints, and you can see tracking down below where workers have clearly had to go out and probably inspect those power lines. In fact, you know what? All the California wildfires from PG&E power lines being downed would not surprise me if some of these footprints and tracking are from those workers who've had to go out and inspect all these power lines. Even though we're right on the water's edge, I think still they have to do it as a protocol standard. I mean, this is not high fire danger area at all, but still. So we're a little bit closer to Route 84, Dumbarton Bridge. That's Newark over there. And what I really like are these benches. These are really nice. Really, really nice. I've stopped here and had a snack many times before. And the other thing they use this site for is elementary school field trips. A lot of little kids take field trips out here during the school year in the spring. What a great way for kids to learn about nature and the natural environment.
So who articulated all this? Was it this consultant saying, here's what your strategy should be, as opposed to the executive director saying, well, we've got all this information. Right, exactly. So I did look at that.
Yep, those are mussel shells down there. Lots of dead mussel shells.
That's exactly.
Alrighty, so we returned from the catwalk and we're back at the visitor center. And I'm going to take you guys out on this trail. Alrighty, so we parked right over there. Guest parking is that way. So no entrance fee required. So you can just simply drive on in here and park your vehicle at any of these parking lots. And yeah, enjoy the trail. Small little tour group set up here. Very nice. It's getting actually kind of warm. Much warmer today than last time I was out here. And the wind is pretty mellow right now, which is great. hopefully it stays that way, and I can capture all the field audio that you guys are hearing unedited for wind noise. One of the things I love about this camera is the left and right stereo image and the audio quality of the microphone. So without the dive case, it is still basically water, rain, splash, and weather resistant. Okay, I can't dunk it or submerge it. I need a dive case to submerge this camera, but it is weatherproof and rain splash proof enough without the case, so I can capture field audio just from the inboard microphones here. And I really hope the wide angle view captures the landscape. So this is not a high adventure, high adrenaline hike. This is a really easy hike, and if you have kids, if you're on a bike, maybe you're coming off an injury of some sort of yourself and you want to just get out and maybe stay out of the forest and just enjoy the outdoors, this is a great hike to do that with. Look how dry the waterways are, really emptied out with the low tide. Trying to maintain about a 3 to 3.5 mile per hour pace on the GPS tracker. I can pretty steadily do that, almost 4 actually. If I go long stride and really put my head down, I can actually do about a 3.35 mile per hour pace. But I'll keep it slower today. The rains have not kicked in yet. I think Central California is going to start entering into a drought condition because the groundwaters have not replenished. So we just haven't had the heavy rains yet here in California. Hopefully that'll change soon. We need our rain, we need our groundwater supplies. And here's a plane coming in right now. Hope you guys can see that. The one thing about my camera and GoPros and action cameras in general is they make things look really far away. I love the smell of fennel. One of my favorite foods, herbs, seasoning, whatever it is, fennel seed. And all up along these lower California elevation trails you can find pockets of fennel plant everywhere you go. Love that smell. Grew up with that smell actually as a kid. We used to break off or cut off the stalks of the plant and suck on them. Light, sweet licorice kind of a taste. There's a plane coming in right now. So this is the San Mateo Municipal Airport, and the cool thing about this is they have an open house event. It's usually, I think it's in the spring, and little kids, it's completely open to the public. There might be little individual pay activities. I think it's been a while since my kids were that little, but younger kids get to go up with the pilots, and the pilots take the kids. You sign all these insurance waivers and liability forms, of course, and the pilots will take your kids up in a plane for a good 15-20 minutes and circle around the Bay Area. And it's an awesome experience for the little ones. So my kids have done that twice years ago. Okay, they're older now, they're teenagers now, they can't do it anymore, but And the kids are actually live, active participants on these planes. They've got headsets on them, and they get to listen to the pilots as they navigate. And I think they may get to hear, I've never actually heard this before, but I think from what my daughter was telling me, they get to hear some of the tower chatter and communication between the pilots. And it's actually a pretty cool event. A lot of the local police and fire, municipal services are out there promoting their cause as well. A lot of the local scout troops do volunteer work during this event. So it really is a community activity, really focused on the municipalities of San Mateo and Palo Alto. Alrighty, so we're continuing here. As you can see, it's not the most interesting trail in the world, but you know what? We're here, we're now living in the moment. And one thing I hope to capture on my channel is my own personal philosophy that hiking isn't about the destination. Hiking is about being here in the moment and enjoying where you are when you are. And I think I see a lot of trail runners. I know a lot of trail runners, for example, and they just don't understand that concept. The idea of hiking a trail is boring and slow-paced or whatever, and it kind of is. I can get that. But at the same time, just stop, pause, and look at where you are. Look at your surroundings around you. Maintaining my steady 3.5 mile per hour pace. What a view. Look at that. Mount Diablo is that way, off on the horizon. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. So we're going to loop around here to the end of the runway. There's a girl there meditating. I didn't want to disturb her. She looked very peaceful. So this trail goes all the way up that way, crosses over that bridge, and straddles right along the backside of that neighborhood, and eventually you end up out in that area, the marsh area, and eventually it'll take you all the way out to Dunbarton Bridge. Some old aviation landmarking equipment, old lighting fixtures. Pretty cool. Don't know about you guys, but I don't get to see this every day. Oh, there's actually a halogen bulb in there. At least it looks like a halogen bulb. Definitely not LED. Definitely not an LED. So here's one. Here's one coming up. So that was the San Mateo Municipal Airport. Got to see a few planes land and take off, and yeah. So we're gonna do our return trek now, back along this airport trail. We'll catch a few planes landing, I'm sure, on the way back, because this is the end where they take off from, and that down there is the end where they land onto. So we're pretty much here at the other end of the runway. Airplanes coming in for landings. That one doing a touch and go. Alrighty everybody, thanks for tuning in with me today here on the Move OTX channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed being out here filming it. Please feel free to post comments, questions down below. So this has been a day hike around the back roads and the back trails around San Mateo Municipal Airport. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to post comments and questions. I'll catch you guys later on the next one. And remember, everybody, stay safe out there and enjoy the outdoors. I'll catch you later on the next one.